Good morning, everyone. May 28th, tradingology.com trading room. We'll get the doors opening up. We've got some internals hovering around zero this fine morning, so we're in definitely chop area we are seeing here. Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, everybody.
How's Dave doing today?
I'm doing good.
Very nice.
We had, we had hot weather. I don't know if you had that yet, but man, it was in the 90s here.
Wow, we had a big front move through. We actually had tornado warnings 2 nights ago.
Oh, it's a little bit cooler today, thank God, because man, I don't have air conditioning. You know, I'm in a 1929 house with a boiler. I don't have air conditioning, except that I have an air conditioner for my office. Otherwise, I'd be dying.
I was going to say, this day and age, you can't go without that anymore.
Yeah.
Good morning, Greg.
But it's just so weird because we went from like 40, 50 degree weather right up to 90. We didn't have any spring at all.
Don't blink.
So what do we got going on this morning, guys? Market interesting, a little volatility here. I saw the Dow futures up like 250-ish maybe.
Yeah, they opened up high, but they definitely didn't stay that way after some bad reports on another unemployment and a GDP revision. Did you see that one?
I did not see the GDP. I saw what were the exact employment numbers? Because I was tied up on a call this morning. I couldn't get in.
The employment numbers came in at, we'll pull it up here. They were expecting 2.1, and we came in at 2.123.
Wow, another 2 million every single week. It's unbelievable.
Yep, and then they revised the preliminary GDP for Q1 down to 5%, where it was previously 4.8. So that's not a good sign either. So that's why we're mixed emotions this morning.
Yeah, durable goods. Wow, I think durable goods down 7.4.
Yeah, so we dropped, and then we're kind of hovering. Internals took it. Look at the big internals hit.
Shoot.
Now we're just sitting at zeros, and major separation between the volume and the the actual issues. So lots of indecision right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be up and down today. It looks like that's what the indication is. We're not above 88, not below 20. So it's going to be good trading up and down.
Yeah, definite chop area. I know they were talking this morning about different levels. So. Well, we got Ken Mark. Yep. Okay.
No attic fan. No, I'm down on the first floor, which is nice. My office leads out onto a deck, and I have a pretty big backyard, so it's really nice right in here. But the office is separate from the house. I have a separate door and everything, so I can claim it as a deduction. Yeah. But there's no second floor to protect against the heat and the sun. It just comes right down on top.
Beacon on you.
Never had my office in an attic. I had it in a spare bedroom when I first got started about 30 years ago.
Here's an interesting one. Who was it? Mark was asking about this, and he's in the room, so here you go, Mark. You were asking about the SD levels. He was curious if they were bearish this morning and how to read those. We definitely opened up at -10, but we have to take into account where it moves from there. So it's actually slightly bullish because it's moving up, but it's still negative. So that is in line with the other parts that we were seeing, where there's no real true bias or direction off that. It's pretty neutral.
Oh, the NQSD just took a deep dive there.
Yeah, I was just watching it. That's what caught my eye, is it's taking some spikes down. We might be seeing some short-term activity there. Usually when that starts getting the volatility is when bad things happen.
Yeah. And if it stays longer than, I mean, if you get a print on a 5-minute chart, that's really bad.
Right.
Really bad print.
BOP curves all coming down. So yeah, it's not lining up for happiness.
Well, now, did you see the update of the spreadsheet I did yesterday?
I did not catch yesterday's yet.
Okay, I added a chart in there of the buy sell signal. And it's right up against the upper level of that buy sell signal. So that was, I think the last time it was 15. The market went down about 2,000 points after it hit that level. We're at 13 right now. So maybe after today, if we hit 15, we'll start to see a little bit of a decline. But we're up in the upper levels of it.
We'll pull
So
that.
that's something to keep an eye on. I mean, if you're a swing trader, the buy sell signal has been a great addition. So down, that is not the new one, is it? No, that's not the new one.
Let's see. 527.
Where's my charts down there? I have the 21, 27 day sum, but
Another tab here.
No, I updated that. Huh.
I just grabbed it just now.
All right, let me. I may have to put it up there again because I added the buy sell signal chart in there.
Yeah, I see info. Yeah, I don't see another chart.
Huh. That's odd. All right, let me upload this again just to make sure. Maybe I uploaded it before I saved it, so that's a bit of an issue.
Could be. Yeah, we're seeing pipeline coming lower. More bullish herdiness coming in. So those are positive signs, but.
Well, we got the ABS back over 2,000.
Oh yeah, that jumped right back up. Look at that.
Yeah, so Friday, the 23rd was a long Memorial Day weekend, and I think a lot of traders took off, right?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, we're seeing the herdings trimming off. A couple of bears are coming in with the reds lighting up there. Not on the NQ yet, or on the NDX, I should say. Let's see how we're doing. There's a little spike. Oh, look at that. See, now it's positive on the NQ. We'll see if that holds or not, or what they're doing. And while that's happening, what do we got going on with everybody else? So yep, that's equating there. No real, it's trying to tighten up there, but actually that's getting even farther away from each other. The red's coming farther away from the yellow or the pink.
Yeah, that's
Even more.
Really,
that's
wow.
crazy.
So there's no volume going into those declining issues.
So you can't trust that whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no volume going into declining issues. All right, so I uploaded the new one, and it has a Z at the end of it on the zip file, so make sure you get the right one.
Okay.
Check and see if there's a Z on it.
I'll pull it back down. Unlock. Is it gonna see? Same file name. I might not be seeing the Z. Let me see if it's the right download. Or let me refresh, make sure I'm getting the fresh one here. Mark, you keep an eye on that SD while I'm grabbing this. See what it's doing. I don't know if I'm actually getting the newer file or not. It looks like I'm downloading the same file names.
What? All right. Oh, there's something wrong with the heck. There's something wrong with the platform.
Yeah, I don't see a Z. I see the same file saved on last night or saved this morning.
Something wrong then. All right, let me email this to you.
Okay.
All right, I guess I could throw it in the Slack. Let me throw it in the Slack. to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
We've made some changes to the back end of the membership.
Notice that.
Yeah.
Changes everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
How you doing? How you doing on your updates there?
I'm down to one little section left on one that I got to work on. I was actually working on it late last night.
Okay.
Greg says he got the Z, so.
Oh.
And I got this one now too, so here we go.
All right.
So here's your new chart. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so on May 1st, that was the last time it hit close to those highs, and we had a 2,000 to 2,000 point decline, I believe, over the next 5 days. So kind of watching that buy-sell signal up in that 15 area. If we get there today, yeah, just be aware if you're a swing trader. We may see a little bit of a decline here.
Maybe the end of that train and this is converged again.
Yeah, maybe. And I updated the 21, 27-day sum too, I believe, from yesterday.
Oh, so we have the 28th in here today.
What?
How's that?
That happened.
Well, I think we just have dates numbered wrong.
Should have been 26, 27.
Yeah, it just says 27, 28. It threw me for a second. I'm like, hey, we're in the future. You already know what's going to happen today.
Damn holidays, you know.
Yeah.
For y'all.
Mark says he wishes we could tell the future.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, so let's see. So
here we go. It's jumping in. You watching that, Mark? Whenever you see it suddenly go off your chart, you know they're doing something. $17, now it's back to 6.
okay, so the 26th was Tuesday. All right, there we go. That's what I got.
Yeah, there you go. Cells and spreadsheets, aren't they fun? Good morning, Asham. Good to see you. We'll swing that one over.
Yeah, my son did a script on Google Docs and converted the spreadsheet to Google Docs, and wrote a little script so that updated with all of the numbers automatically. It was absolutely beautiful until the holiday came around.
Right, I remember that with the YMNQ spreadsheet.
Yeah, threw everything off.
Yeah.
So, of course, economic news is bad. The market goes up. We have a number of different pharmaceutical companies, Novartis, GlaxoSmithKline, or whatever, and a couple others that are working on, clinical trials for the vaccine of some sort. 2.1 million jobless claims. Bank of America said they're taking 1,000 applications a day for PPP.
They opened that up again? I thought they closed that again.
They opened it up this morning, I guess.
Wow.
They opened it back up.
I actually got a note from the SBA this week from the initial round they did before the PPP, where I qualified for a loan, but I don't believe I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
So that one's actually coming into play now too. The original, what do they call it? The economic IA something. It was like 4 acronyms. It wasn't the CARES Act. It was before all that. It was the original SBA that I think we applied for 2 months ago, probably.
Oh, wow. And you're just getting notices now about it?
Yep, I just got a notice now that it's potentially available, but I'm most likely going to choose not to elect it.
Why?
It's not, I don't really need it. The business is doing okay, so I figure I'm not going to take free money and pay interest on it back to them.
Yeah, the problem I have is I just don't want to get in bed with the government at all. I don't want to take anything from them, to be
Yeah.
honest. I think that in the long run, you're probably going to regret it.
I don't need the loan from them, so why take it?
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I took was that $1,000 per employee for the EIDL. That was like a kind of a no strings attached kind of thing.
Yep, same here.
That was it.
You might find this interesting. You're mentioning the companies that are talking about potential vaccines. I was actually talking with someone over in Europe, getting firsthand knowledge and not relying on things going on.
Yeah.
He was telling me that they're also obviously doing research as well, but they're having a hard time finding people to be able to test because it's disappearing very fast.
Oh, really?
They're saying that it's already gone away and they don't have a good base of people to actually test to see what's good or not because the virus is already dissipating.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found that very interesting as well.
It has an expiration date on this virus or what?
Good question.
I mean, it was engineered, so, maybe there's a built-in kill switch.
Right. And I like to, I'll take firsthand knowledge from someone that I know over any report from any media, anywhere, any day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like boots on the ground, right? It's like, yeah, what's going on? They're like, oh, yeah, people are saying this, but they can't find enough people to test.
Mark says herd immunity. Good morning, Ashan.
Sooner or later, that'll get it, right?
Yeah, herd immunity. That's why, there's been so many arguments against social distancing, only because we learn how to fight a virus by, touching things and like getting that. If we're in a clean, sterile environment, and then you go out into a virus-infected environment, you're going to get real sick.
Yeah, you're going to get sick. You need to build your own immunity. Absolutely. We joke, I'm like, just go eat some dirt. You'll be fine. The kids always do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or they'll eat a bug. Yeah, I think I have a bug.
Yeah.
We used to do crazy stuff when we were kids. Oh my gosh. Growing up in the 70s, no supervision whatsoever. 60s and 70s.
Yeah, and we're turning more to the negative side, but nothing crazy. They're just trying to get people into whipsaw right now. Definite move toward the negative. We see a spike up there.
Volume is following, but it's really far behind.
Yep. See that quick move up is quickly replaced by a move down because everything went negative. So there's your lesson, Mark. Just because it's one way or the other, watch those patterns. And I was pulling up that, 2.1. So that's, what are we at for a total then?
The Fed's new challenge is to get people to go back to work after all the stimulus. $600 extra per page, per week on their unemployment. The latest, one of the latest updates I heard to a new bill is that they're going to pay you now $450 a week to go back to your job if you go back to your job.
What?
Yeah. So if you go back to your job, you get $450 on top of your paycheck every week.
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable.
You can't make that up. You just can't make it. I saw, what was the other article, that they're now mailing debit cards?
Are they?
Instead of waiting for checks. You know how much postal theft there's going to be?
Oh my gosh.
If there's suddenly mailing out all these credit cards in the mail.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean,
is there going to be maybe some security thing to it where you have to have some code to activate it?
Yeah, no. What would they use for that?
Usually it's your zip code. That's not hard to find.
Yeah, zip code, social security number. Everybody's got everybody's. I mean, there's lists of social security numbers on the internet. You can get them pretty easily. It doesn't really make any sense.
Mark says he's been saved so many times from doing something stupid from watching the internals. So we're glad they're there to make you from doing stupid mistakes, Mark. I like to hear that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because those, I mean, yeah, they're pretty accurate, boy. When you, especially when they're below 20 and they just stay there, you just short. You just find places to short. And then if above 80, they're find places to go long, but everything in between is just chop.
Man, whenever there's a big separation, that's a no-no. Oh, I saw there was a question. Was it in one of the channels that you're mentioning the gold silver ratio on each of your updates? Someone's asking about the topper on that again. Obviously, the trade that was on for shorting gold and going long on silver, and just watching that as that ratio goes. But is there anywhere else that you're using that specifically?
No, just the trade, short gold, long silver. I'm not really. It's not an economic indicator. It's not. Although Mike Maloney does indicate that. I think he said, and don't quote me on this one, but I believe it was Mike. It may have been somebody else, but he said that when it's over 100, which has only been like 5 times in history, it has always preceded an economic decline. So I believe it was Mike that said that.
And apparently he's figured out that this is prime time because I think he's on competing with us right now.
He is. Is. How dare him?
I know, right? You know what I'd love to do? You know, it'd be great if we get him, George, you, and take someone else's pick together. That would be a fantastic panel.
Oh my gosh, that would be insane. I mean, I'd just sit there and gawk at those guys.
Right.
Guys are rock stars, man. Especially Mike.
Just a roundtable discussion. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, Mike is great because he's like so old school, and he's just rock solid. He reminds me of somebody. I can't think of who, but he's a pretty cool guy. I like him.
I was trying to think of how I could make that work.
So
get their attention.
That would be great. I think we need more pull. I don't think 100 subscribers on YouTube is going to qualify us. Even I think even Brad has about 15,000 or close to 15,000 subscribers now. He couldn't get George on his show.
He tried for George?
I tried for George. He tried for Danielle DiMartino Booth.
Sure.
Get her. I think that you need somebody whose full-time job is just bird dogging.
Well, maybe if we just put it out there in the universe that these people need to talk, they'll just make it happen themselves. It doesn't have to be on our show or our discussion. I just want to see those people together, all talking and collaborating. That would be fantastic in itself.
That would be cool, yeah. Actually, next time I'm in George's live stream, I'll suggest Mike Maloney to him, see if he can get him on.
Yeah. I think they'd be a good combo.
Yeah, so Mike's discussion this morning is on 1929 versus now. Are we headed for the greatest depression? You know, you got to think about the fact that probably 50% of all the small businesses in the country will never reopen. What does that do?
Right, and I think I just saw something recent too about small businesses that are starting to throw in the towel. It's starting to happen where, I don't know if it was an article that I saw or something I read that was around just the bankruptcy starting to file in, and just business closing, because obviously when you're bankrupt, you're not done, you're just restructuring, as we've seen many big companies do over the years, whether it's an airline or something else. So bankruptcy doesn't mean the end of the business, it's a restructure where they can come out stronger. But I think I did see many reports of, yep, they're shutting down because there's no return for them.
Yeah, and even those that are strong, what happens if you have a restaurant or some other establishment where you need to have capacity to serve your customers? and you can only allow 50% of your normal volume through the door.
Right. Yeah. You can seat 300 people, but now you can only seat 100.
Yeah. How do you manage that? Those numbers.
You know, I found something interesting just in my own head too, because everyone's talking about the food supply chain, right? And all the different restructuring from it's shifted from all this stuff that used to be at restaurants and hotels, and since no one's eating out, but people are still eating, right? The population still has to consume food. So it's a different channel getting there. So I had someone was trying to claim, hey, just because they're all closed means, the supply chain's done. It's like, well, it's just moving a different way. It's not necessarily all going to be suddenly not needed because everybody still needs to eat. So we still need to generate the food. It's just the channel that they're consuming it is different. Whether it's direct home purchasing, and I think we touched on this previously before, where it's, you see these farmers that are suddenly not selling to their clients because, their chain of restaurants aren't buying. So they had an overstock and oversupply of product, but then you had people that still needed it. So you had direct consumer going direct to the farmers and buying things. So it's going to be a revamp, I believe, and just a restructure in the end of how this is handled.
Huh, interesting.
That was just my thought. Hey, we're still going to eat. You can't stop that. If you stop eating, then yeah, there's going to be a super problem. Maybe we'll all finally lose that weight that we all need to.
Oh, well.
Because the country's overweight as it is.
And I'm wondering if the eating habits have changed because they're home. People are eating more junk food rather than healthy now.
Right.
Yeah.
And those that actually went to the gym can't go to the gym anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But they're finding ways, hopefully, to at least still do some exercise. So yeah, it's going to affect so many things. Andre's curious if you got your video recreated that you and Josh talked about.
Started it, but didn't finish it. What I want to do is put up a deck so that you can kind of go through it step by step and just kind of put all the concepts together. So I worked on the deck yesterday, but I didn't shoot the video yet. I just want to have the major concepts outlined. Like here's the equilibrium, this is what you do from the parent structure to the smaller time frame structure. So a couple of card decks in there, and then I'm going to shoot the video. So it should be done today.
Very cool.
Yeah. Kind of pull everything together.
Putting the pieces together is what we do, right? It's all a puzzle.
It is a puzzle.
How about you guys? Anybody take any trades before the open? Any good reports? I think I saw a few things in the room. It's always good to pull the audience to see how you guys are doing.
Yeah, it was crazy this morning. I mean, the market was up big, and then it was down big, and it was all over the place.
Yeah, these are 100 points again. No trades for Greg. Okay. It's always good to find a time to sit on your hand too, so nothing wrong with that. The key is being able to identify when to get in and when to stay out.
Yeah.
That's half the battle. So just think if you went the wrong way, Greg, how much money you saved. Always look at it that too.
Yeah, and sometimes just sitting on cash for a while is probably the best, and just kind of, getting an objective view of the markets. Best thing to do sometimes. It's always going to be there. Not going anywhere.
There's always tomorrow. I don't have a teaser for you on the site, so I was checking my other browser, so you have to wait.
I don't know if you saw this news, but Coinbase is acquiring the cryptocurrency brokerage Tagomi.
I did see you sent out a notice about that.
Yeah, interesting. So Tagomi is like high net worth individuals. If they have, I believe the minimum buy-in for their platform was $1 million.
Wow.
So if you got an extra $1 million sitting around and you want to buy Bitcoin, you'd use Tagomi. And it looks like Coinbase is acquiring them.
I was just going to say, is that a million USD or a million XRP?
Um, well, no, it's a million USD, so
Wow.
$1 million in cash sitting around. Yeah, I mean, there's consolidation going on. I think the space is, looks like it's ready to explode. But on my long-term charts, I take a look at the weekly charts for Bitcoin. I don't know if you have one up there, but it looks like it's got to pull back to around 7,000, and then we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I don't see it really taking off from these levels, but I don't know.
I don't have any weekly ones available at the moment. I only have Coinbase open on another screen here. That only goes to the daily.
Here, I'll send you the screenshot through our favorite channel.
In other news, is it Asham that keeps checking on it? You'll like the recent moves in MGI there, sir.
Yeah.
MGI is back up to $2.50 almost. 2.4 right now, 241.
Yep, and you notice that there was a big volume spike a couple weeks ago, and it looks like they had some advanced knowledge there of the Uber and MGI deal.
Interesting.
I don't know if you saw that in the news yesterday.
I did see that as well. News everywhere. So that's definitely a good sign. So if you were underwater, that's starting to not be. It's coming back to where you want it to go. There's the original buy area way back when it touched it. How perfect was that for a short-term trade?
Yeah, for a short-term trade, it was great. And then, that I was getting a little worried. Actually, it was getting close to $1 there. That was pretty. I was like,
are they going to be acquired? Are they going to do something funny? Get under $1, you got to start to wonder, right?
Yeah, they can't stay on the NASDAQ if they're under $1 for 6 months. But that's good. Yeah, that's really good. So, the news, MGI, and see. So, you got it looks better when it comes down to that 7,000 level, because now you've got an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which would project it up to about $16,000. So I'm waiting for 7,000 in Bitcoin. I just don't see it breaking out above that upper trend line right now. I mean, it could. Who knows? It can do anything it wants. This is not where I want to buy.
Oh, for sure. Your wife does, though.
Yeah, and she had to go to work, and she told me to get out of her Bitcoin trade because she put it on at 9,200 yesterday, and she said get out. And I said okay, well I'm getting out at 9,480, and it hit 9,440, and it looked like it was going down, so I got out a little bit early. It did hit 9,480 actually.
Well, it always does. As soon as you get out, it's going to hit your other target.
Yeah.
That's just Murphy's Law, right?
So now she's going to blame me because I lost a little bit. Oh, well.
Too funny.
But, I did the best I could. Yeah, I just don't see it breaking out from that level because it hit that sell-off, and then it rebounded. We have not had a pullback on that yet. That's the only thing that makes me slightly worried.
And 94.41 right now on it.
Can I elaborate, Andre, on the expected levels you mean for Bitcoin? So with that head and shoulders pattern, if you bring that back up again, the low there was around 4,000, and the neckline is approximately, I'll check out my chart. Neckline is around 9,900. And so if you take the difference between those two, that's about, hit a low of 39 to, let's call it 99. 39 to 99 is 6,000 points. So if it breaks above 10,000, it should go to 16,000 on that. If it goes down to 7 and it forms that inverse head and shoulders pattern. So that, yeah, the neckline is right around where we are now, but a little bit higher, about 99. And the low is 39. So that's 6,000 points difference. And you add it to the top, the neckline break, which is 99, it brings you to approximately 16,000. Does that help? Takes patience, because if that plays out the way I think it's going to play out, that low in Bitcoin at 7,000 is going to hit the beginning of August. So I'm a long-term player. I like to play chess, not checkers.
Oh, he's curious how you see the neckline.
Oh, the neckline is just that it's pretty much following that white line across there. That's the neckline up there. Not that one. That's up
Yeah.
there. That's the neckline.
You zoom in.
The circle on the left is the left shoulder. Circle in the middle there is the head, and then the right circle is the right shoulder if it hits, and then the neckline is the that line across those tops right there. Yep. So just like this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So on a regular head and shoulders pattern
up here. Yeah, think about the regular one. This would be way up here. Then you'd be looking for a short. This is looking for the long, the opposite. I was looking to see if there's a way I could invert it, but I don't think I can on here. Like spin it around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can. So anyway, so the top white line is the neckline.
And these are just the trend lines at the same time.
Yep, and it's a trend line as well. So it got rejected off of that trend line about 4 times on that weekly chart. So I'm not. That's why I'm not expecting it to break out to new highs at this point.
And if it ever does, that's a signal that it could be going higher.
Oh yeah, a lot higher. So
I should say when it does, because
and close
eventually.
Wow. You can take a screenshot and then flip the picture. Let me try that.
Oh, Greg, you're so smart. I like my other screenshot. I sent this one to Dave. This is my very first crypto trade that I closed. This is on my H bar. So I don't know if you can see the little blue dot. That's when I bought it back in April.
Nice.
And there's where I sold it a couple days ago when it spiked up to 46 and like 46.10, I think we sold at, give or take. So I've bought a lot of crypto and acquiring and holding, but this is the first time I actually sold any to complete a trade.
Very nice. And it's still around that level, so you haven't lost too much. Well, it's at 46. So.
Yeah, it's 4609 right now, so it's recovered back a little bit because it did go down. I felt really smart at that time. When it goes down, it's like, yeah, look at that. I bought it up here. Or sold it up there, I should say.
Yeah, that's a good trade. That's a very nice trade.
20%, I'll take it. It depends on the cryptocurrency. As Shami's asking which platforms I use. So for the H bar, I had to use Bittrex because that's the only one that's available for me to actually trade. For Coinbase, I can do XRP. It all depends on where you live. Dave can only trade like sticks and stones over in New York.
There you go. I flipped it for you.
All right. So there's the upside down, what you normally see. So here's shoulder 1. Here's the top of the head. Here's shoulder 2. Then looking for it to go down. Right. Or up technically, just reversed.
Yep, that's the head and shoulders pattern that is typical. And then the inverse is what we showed you. So I mean that makes sense though. I don't see it forming or breaking out from these levels, especially after that really sharp decline. There's been no pullback at all to those levels. So 7,000 is my buy point.
See, now he likes it. Andre says, great. See, when you put it upside down, then it all looks the same to you.
Yeah.
Funny how that works in psychology.
Yeah, it is weird.
Well, we're continuing on the not a lot going on, a little bit of chop here and there. So
Actually, if you look at the really old videos I did back in 2007,
yeah,
I used to flip charts upside down a lot as part of my analysis because I'd say, would I buy this if I wanted to buy something, would I sell it if it was flipped upside down? It was actually I used to do that a lot.
what's up out here? Oh, classic TA. There's Bulkowski chart patterns. Who else do we always like? I got
The one I keep next to my desk. I'm looking up part patterns all the time.
there you go.
That's the one I keep right here. Another one, anything by Jack Schwager, who I think he came out with a very basic TA book very long time ago, but it's still valid. It was really, really good.
Yeah, there's the other one I got over here. I got the big one.
What is that? Oh, Larry Williams?
Yep.
Nice.
No, this is Toby Crabell.
Oh, the Toby Crabell book. Oh, yeah.
That's the one you want right there, too.
Breakouts. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Old school hardcover, too. I like hardcovers.
Yeah. Toby Crabell. I ended up selling my copy for like $400 on Amazon. But let me
use it as a booster chair.
Yeah, actually, that book is funny because he had so many charts in there. He had tons of charts in there, and all the computer printouts from like the 70s or whenever he printed that.
Right.
So the actual strategy is only about 30 or 40 pages out of that book. The rest of it is like printouts.
That's how you study it.
Yeah. If you want to go through it line by line, God bless you.
Are you trying to say I'm short, Mark?
He's not. I met him in person. I met Dan in person. He's not short.
Well, we're getting close to a wrap, gentlemen. It's going to be another short weekend for you this time. You're going to have to work on Monday. No 2 holidays back to back, but
I found his technical analysis book. Let me put the link.
Oh, what'd you find?
This is Getting Started in Technical Analysis, Comprehensive Coverage by Jack D. Schwager, who is he is the he's the guy behind the Market Wizard books. So there you go. That's the one you want to start with, Andre, because it is really, it's really, really good. And then from there, you can get the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns from Bulkowski. But the Jack Schwager books, that was probably the best technical analysis book I've ever read. For an overall, view. In fact, I'm going to buy a copy and send it to my son, because he was asking me the other day about good technical analysis. Now, if you want to get really, really into it, then anything by John Murphy, those are really in depth. I mean, if you really want to get into it. All right, this time is fleeting.
Yep, we're ticking down again. Get ready for the top of the hour. Got a couple meetings outside of the office today, so get out and about. Get some service done. Any final questions, guys, or we'll call it a wrap here? decent turnout once again. So we appreciate you guys as always coming out.
Yeah, thank you, Ken, Mark, Greg, Andre, JD, Voltaire, Sham, Alexander. Good to see you guys. Always appreciate you guys coming. It's kind of, I mean, Dan and I could just kind of talk by ourselves, but that's something we do that all the time anyway. So you're welcome, Asham. Mark says, will there be separate discussion on PAP at some point? Still figuring it out. Like I said, I'm going to do a video kind of wrapping up stuff, but definitely, I don't know if we're going to have separate discussion on PAP, but only because if you haven't purchased a course, you're not really going to understand what's going on, right?
I was going to say we could, if you wanted to see what Scott's schedule is like, if we wanted to do like a Zoom only for PAP subscribers.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I think that'd be pretty beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe some buyers, if they want to come in, and they can ask him questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Mark. So we'll see. Anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
Andre's got, what indicators in Classic TA do not work anymore? Is there any that you shy away from?
Basic trend lines. I think support and resistance still works really well. I think in the crypto markets, they all work pretty well because it's still a fairly young market. But in stocks, trend lines don't seem to work very well. I think you have to look outside the traditional stuff. That's why PAP works on traditional stocks and Forex now. Because everybody's trend lines don't seem to hold, and they don't seem to be resistance or support lines anymore. That's about the only thing. Head and shoulder patterns, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. Bukowski, even he stated that in, I think it was 2011, in Stocks and Commodities magazine, he had an article saying that the patterns that used to work 80% of the time are now working less than 50% of the time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why your MES system works really well, because it's not based on the traditional stuff. That's why the price action profits works, because it's not based on the traditional stuff. So new methods are coming in to replace some of the old ones, but knowing the old ones is absolutely essential. You have to know those before you can move on to the new stuff.
Yeah, you still need to have the foundation and the basics of the knowledge for sure.
Yeah.
Which is why the courses don't go away, and they still become, the training's still there. That's why we don't take them off the Tradingology site. Even the ones like you're saying that you did back in 2007, 2008 are still valid. And especially like the volatility one.
Yes.
Being able to measure that and having that knowledge, even though the videos are old. And I think I'm going to put up a little primer for new people that come in to say, yeah, some of these videos you might be seeing are old, but the concepts are forever.
Right.
That's what they need to understand. So even if you're thinking, hey, this monthly income course, that's like 5 years ago, that's no good anymore. The theories behind it are always valid. So it's just a matter of determining when you need and what you need it for.
Absolutely. That is so true.
Which ones are still to watch? I think you missed a word there, Andre. I'm trying to extrapolate. Which ones are still valid to watch? All of them, if that's what you're asking.
I would say that if I was a new trader just getting started, I would read that Jack Schwager book first. Then I would dig into volatility. I would read everything I possibly could on volatility. And so, the one video, and I keep mentioning this over and over again, but the one I did on volatility, that one single video is probably the most important video you can watch. Then I would get into specific strategies. The price action profit right now is probably the best strategy for swing traders and Dan's MES, because see, all of the recent courses like Dan's MES Masterclass are based on what we know right now. And we're incorporating all of the previous knowledge that we've had over the last years to bring you the latest information that works. If we take bits and pieces from the older stuff in order to incorporate it into what's working now. And so it's always valid to go back to those old courses so you can gather the information. And sometimes you can't understand the newer ones without understanding the old ones. It's kind of like, if you don't know history, you're bound to repeat it, right? It's the same thing. You can see what our approach was by looking at the old videos. And then when you get to the new videos, you'll have a much better understanding of where we're getting these things from, because we're incorporating all the knowledge that we have over the years into the newest items, into the newer courses. So that's why it's really important to keep those videos up over the years. Even though some parts of it have gone away, the majority of it, there are points in there that we take with us into the future to create and redefine our strategies. There isn't a single business in history that hasn't changed over the years. You have to keep up to date, and it's the same thing with trading. You have to know history, and you have to know what the new methodologies are in order to really be successful. You can't be stuck in the 60s, and do business anymore. You can't. You got to evolve. It's a learning process that never ends.
So here's one technical analysis class that's out there. This is the new format of what it's going to look like. It's still on the original site, but here's one you can study. This one, go back and watch it. The old box spreads, winning trade system. These are all what we're referring to here.
Yeah, for example, I'm taking the three-legged box spreads right now, and I'm applying them specifically to a volatility trade. I mean, they work okay on stocks and ETFs, but I found that they're much better just plain volatility on the VXX. So I'm testing a new strategy out now, just using three-legged box spreads on the VXX, and it's pretty exciting so far. I like it.
Yeah, so if you learn the core things, absolutely. And the volatility one, I think it's on page 2, but so yeah, there's a little glimpse into it of what it's going to see.
In the inside day system, that's just absolutely, it's a breakout system, just like, and I modeled that after Toby Cribell's strategy.
You're welcome, Greg.
Welcome, Greg. Yeah, good to hear that, Mark. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff in there that is fantastic. Yeah, PAP. How can you possibly master all this? Well, you don't have to master everything, but you need to master the essentials. So, you've really you've got to take what we offer and then boil it down into a system that you can personally follow with discipline. That's the important thing. You really need to personalize all of these systems and make them your own.
Yeah, and then stick to your rules is the biggest thing.
Yeah. So you got to have rules that you can stick to.
Yep.
Don't make them unrealistic. All right, guys. Have a great day, everybody.
Appreciate your time, Dave.
Yeah.
Appreciate a great weekend. We'll see you, everyone.
Yes. See you next Tuesday. Have a great weekend, guys.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.